You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm my friendship. Oh,
you know what time it is. You roll with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. And it's Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the uttermost to the public housing. And if we don't play, our wide receivers got your secondary shook, so they cook them like Bobby Flay. Hey, stay out of my way and trust me, cause I know it's OH. Somebody please give this brother an IO. Come on.
What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk college football with real fans. I'm Devin. I'm excited to be here. We're going to dive into a little Ohio State news today. It has been a chock-full week, last couple of days, last couple of shows on this Michigan stuff happening. Rightfully so, because everybody around the nation is talking about it. They have dug themselves in a deep hole. But throughout that time, Ohio State football still moving along, man, on these playoffs, getting ready to go to the Cotton Bowl, either playing Miami or Texas A&M. Transfer portal's about to be opening. The Buckeyes are doing some work there. They're trying to get some players. And the 26 class. Signing day happened, but are we going to add another guy to that class? Going to dive into a few of those things tonight. And also, the show I had scheduled when the Michigan stuff broke. Is there a starter out? Is this starting lineup for these Buckeyes going to change, man? And we'll obviously dive into the day Hartline dilemma of Hartline working at USF and, you know, him still being part of this team with play calling and all those things. Been getting a lot of information on the team over these last couple days, so I will try my best to articulate that information in a plain, logical format. So let's start with this one, guys. Let's start with where we at, right, with this Hartline dilemma, right? Where did this thing start? Where are we at now? We know what happened on signing day. We know Hartline left. Let me back up. I gotta back up. I gotta ask you guys, hit that like button first. Hit the subscribe button as well. And super chats are open, guys. If you're watching on the Buckeye Boys channel, every super chat gets put back into organizations that help people that struggle in life with addiction mainly, and also homeless veterans. So if you're watching on the Buckeye Scoop channel, same thing, man. All super chats go to help that. So don't forget to do that. And I appreciate everybody being in the chat, man. You guys are in here every single night. There is no show without the chat. Back to what I was talking about. So all this Hartline stuff going on with this team leading into the Big Ten title game. A lot of people were wondering, is this going to be a distraction or not? That's up in the air now, right? After we saw the Indiana game, we saw what happened. It really looked like this coaching staff was not prepared to go up against Indiana. So we know all that drama, but what we're concerned with now is what's this going to look like moving forward, man? How is this team going to operate? More specifically, how is this offense going to operate in the red zone, right? 13, 14 personnel. That's one area of what Buckeye fans, what we are dealing with right now. The other area that everybody was talking about, the offensive line, right? More specifically, Tegra. The whole offensive line didn't play well, but Tegra Shibola has been having some trouble all year. A lot of Buckeye fans, inconsistency. Maybe it's time we try somebody like Gabe Van Sickle, who came in the game. Our offense trotted down the field and scored some touchdowns. Well, I hate that it came about like this, and this is old news. I'm sure you guys have already heard this, but Tegra, man, out with an injury right now, had an upper body injury of some sort. It's being reported that he has been playing with an upper body injury. He had to have surgery on that. And I am being told he will not be back for either the Miami or Texas A&M game, and it's questionable that he's going to be back after that. So that leaves us with the next question of, hey, where are we going to go from here? Well, if you guys remember in November, right, the person that they were plugging in there was Josh Padilla. Josh Padilla, not as big, but a more athletic type of offensive lineman. Now, with this coaching staff, with the plays they've been calling, what they've been wanting to do in the running scheme and all those things, I think that is the route they would want to go anyway. But Josh Padilla ended up getting hurt, and there was some things coming out about that injury. Hey, he's good to go, but we don't want to play him early. Well, actually, come to find out, the injury was a little more serious than even the coaching staff realized it was. So he's been out for a little longer, and I haven't got exact word on where he's at now on recovering from that injury. So you ask, hey, who are we going to replace Tegra with? What's this coaching staff going to do? Well, luckily, we got 3 weeks to figure something like that out. We remember last year, right? All the injuries that occurred, some of those injuries occurred, and we only had a week to get things together. Well, Justin Fry seemed to do a very well job last year at keeping this offensive line intact and able to do that. This year, circumstances a little bit different, right? It just so happens that the player that got injured was the player that was not playing his best football. Now, was that because of the injury? I don't know. That's something I don't think anybody will ever know. But either way, there's going to be a new starting offensive lineman for the Buckeyes. And the obvious name for me would be Gabe Van Sickle, because we watched how the offense operated when he came in the game, the second half of the Indiana game. We marched down the field with like a 70-yard and an 80-yard offensive drive, ended up not scoring any points on those, but he still got us down the field. But also, where's Josh Padilla? And another name in there as well is Ethan Onianwa, right? If you guys remembered last year, though, what this coaching staff did was they rotated a lot on the offensive line. And that's something that I've asked myself in this situation. Hey, if Josh Padilla gets better, right, because Josh Padilla has been injured, Gabe Van Sickle has been the one coming in, and now he has got that game time experience. He has seemed to got better and better and better every time he gets in the game. What do they do now? You got a Josh Padilla who worked his way up to earn snaps behind Tegra, gets injured, replace Gabe Van Sickle. He seems to do well. If Josh is ready, are you going to see a rotation of Josh and Gabe, right? We already know what the coaching staff says. They always say, hey, let's wait and see what they do in practice. But you could also say, hey, right, what if Ethan Onianwa comes in here and starts to turn up at the guard position because he got his tackle position taken by Austin Sareveld, and he was really sought after in the portal. We really had high hopes for him here at Ohio State, but it ended up not coming through. Switched him to the guard position, had some good games, had some rough games, inconsistent, but it was a brand new position, right? But it's later in the season. He's been repping the guard position in practice an awful lot. So you might wonder, hey, if he was able to get so good at tackle throughout his career, can he get good enough at the guard position? Ultimately, I think it's going to come down to Gabe Van Sickle. And if Josh Padilla is healthy, I expect them to rotate him in there as well. And I'm excited to see what we do here. When you combine that, when you combine a new right guard, right? Again, let me make this clear. I hate that it happened this way. Okay. I think we all agree that we did not want Tegra to be benched because of an injury. That's not what anybody wanted. Would they have benched him anyway? I'm convinced they would have. He got removed from the game, and it wasn't because he was tired and needed a break. It was because he was playing very poorly. But either way, this is where we're at, right? So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see how this offense operates in that regard as well, with a new right guard in, without the inconsistency. But then if you plug that in with what I'm hearing coming out of the Woody right now, which is that Ryan Day is taking a big responsibility on on the offensive side of the ball because of the Hartline situation, right? We've dove into that a little bit. Hey, what do we think should happen, Buckeye fans? Do you want Brian Hartline to continue to call the plays? Do you not want him to? And, dude, the more I think about this, there is no way that Ryan Day allows Brian Hartline to call the plays. No way. It's not going to happen. Brian Hartline is trying to keep USF together. He's got a quarterback there, Byram Brown, threw for over 3,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and the transfer portal is coming up. What do you think that quarterback, who's going to be very sought after in the transfer portal, is going to do if his brand new head coach is not around a lot? Dude's going to bounce along with all the other good players in that. So, there's this big debate right now on what's going to happen. I think Ryan Day should cut ties with him right now. And that's not a negative thing. I just think it needs to happen. And you're not going to convince me that Brian Hartline's going to come in here and call plays for this playoff game coming up. Now, will he be up in the box? Probably. He'll probably be up in the box, but Ryan Day is the one taking charge of this. And you guys are going to love this. I do think, finally, because of this, right, because of everything that's happened, these are one of these things where, yeah, losing to Indiana sucked. Yeah, Brian Hartline going to USF sucked. But what does this mean now? It means Ryan Day gets more involved on the offensive side of the ball, which means what, guys? It means no more 13 and 14 personnel. No more 60% of our red zone plays are without J.J. Smith and Carnell Tate. And that's exactly what needs to happen, man. That's exactly what needs to happen. That's what I'm hearing is most likely going to go on. Of course, you can hear all these things coming out of the Woody, but we will see on game day what happens. You remember last year, the difference in the way this offense looked. You know what I'm saying? Like, you watched him during the regular season and you kept thinking, man, we got way more gas in the tank. And the same thing this year when you're watching them. And let me ask you guys this, because as I'm watching the Indiana game, okay, and listen, don't be hating on me for this question. Don't be calling me. I'm just legit curious, okay? Because Ryan Day said, well, before the Big Ten game, we all had a discussion about, hey, how important is this game to the coaching staff, to these players, to whatever? Because in the grand scheme of things, there's not that much importance behind it. The only importance behind it is you win the Big Ten title. But the Big Ten title to Ohio State, especially to the fans, it's just not all that important. This isn't me trying to take credit away from Indiana. They beat us. You won the Big Ten title. That's not what this is. But how important was it to them? Do you think it was important enough to put all of their offensive schemes out there for the teams that they see in the playoffs? That's my question. Do you think they held back on the offensive side of the ball, quite frankly, and the defensive side of the ball at all in the Big Ten title game? Because going into that game, right, and watching the game, you think, yeah, but I was nowhere near that. And don't believe that, right? Because it's a Big Ten title game. It's number one, number two. You heard Ryan Day in all his press conferences, how pumped the team was, how much Ryan Day, how much they wanted to be the number one team. But then you see what they did during the game, right? And it's almost like, hey, even if they were distracted, why do they continue to do the same things that they're doing? Why don't they make these changes faster? Why do they continue the 13 or 14 personnel in there? And it is something that would make sense. I do not think that happened. I want that to be true. I want it to be true that they held back because they didn't want those things out there for the teams they're going to play in the playoff. But I found that interesting. What are you guys saying in the chat here? Nope. Nope. All right, we got some no's, no's, no's. No, we didn't hold back. Yeah, I think we held back. Maybe. I don't know. I don't buy it. Yeah, just something I wanted to ask you guys, see where your thoughts are on it. But anyway, this Indiana game, a blessing, right? The Brian Hartline thing ends up turning into a blessing because Brian Day has to be more involved. We can all agree that on the offensive side of the ball, something needs to change. Well, the first domino has fallen in a weird type of way, in a way that we didn't want it to fall, but it falled. It falled. It fell. And that is Tegra Shabola is getting replaced with somebody on the offensive line, at least for one game, right? The next domino that we need to fall is the play calling to change or get better in the red zone. Haven't really struggled outside the 20s this year. We've been very, very good on it. I believe statistically top in the nation outside the red zone with getting down to the red zone, but inside the red zone. And I think this loss and everything that has occurred has allowed this team to get a little more organized, Day to get a little more involved, and also a little motivation for this team, right? We've all seen everything. We've all seen the Julian Sand video of him at the Heisman with that one reporter interviewing him who asked the really, really stupid question. We all know JJ getting snubbed for the award. He posted on Twitter how aggravated he was. Caleb Downs is taking all the awards away, but a couple other of our players, I wouldn't say are robbed, right? The only one I would say is robbed is JJ because it's like, hey, let's be honest, right? If you asked every fan that watches college football, actually watches it, who would you rather have on your team, Buckeye Lemon or JJ Smith? I did a poll on Twitter, okay? And yes, I know most of the Ohio State fans follow the Buckeye Boys X account, but literally 100% of people answered JJ. 100%. Now, I think it was like 400 votes. I forget how many votes. It's like 400 or something, but not a single person clicked Lemon's name. So there's a lot of motivation there. There's the motivation of coming off that Indiana loss. The Heisman thing for Julian Sand, even though, I don't know that he will utilize that with him being, Julian, the calm, cool, collected guy that he is. He might be able to dig into his bag and, come up with some motivation out of that. But I do know that JJ Smith, for the second year in a row, has been the best wide receiver in the game. It's very obvious, and that award was taken from him. But he can only do so much, right? These coaches have to get him involved in the game a little more, especially down there in the red zone. And I'm being told that is about to happen. So that's the good news for the Buckeyes as of now. We'll keep digging. And obviously, when we find out who we play, Texas A&M or Miami, we will dive into that game a little bit more. But, I think Nevada asked me this last night on the panel show I did on with him and B on Scoop. I want to ask you guys again, who would you rather play? Would you rather play Miami or would you rather play Texas A&M? Now, I answered Texas A&M, and that is still my answer. And we'll dive into that a little bit deeper at a different time. But for now, I understand that we're playing in Texas, and that's closer, the fans there. I was at the Texas game last year when the Buckeyes won. So I'm not too worried about that, right? This team knows what they're going to get into with the fans in the crowd. They're going to be prepared. They're going to do the silent count anyway. I'm not convinced that the Texas A&M fans are going to be able to come in there enough. Huge place, sits a lot of people. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Buckeye fans there too. So I don't put a lot of emphasis on that, what more fans are going to be there, but that's just me. But what I do put a lot of emphasis on is, hey, where have these Buckeyes struggled at? We've struggled in the red zone. Let's be honest. Have we struggled with a mobile quarterback? No, we haven't. Have we struggled with a quarterback that can pass the ball a little better, right, than the average quarterback? Yeah, we have. More than a mobile quarterback. We shut down Desmond Williams. We shut down the Ohio University quarterback. Fernando did not hurt us with his legs all that much as far as getting yardage. So, dude, still for me, I want to see what you guys are putting. But my point, guys, Texas A&M's defense is literally, in the red zone, it's horrible. Miami's defense in the red zone is, I think, 12th in the nation. So, yes, Mark, I'm with you. I really don't care. But because it's a topic, there's not much else to talk about, it is something to dive into. I love diving into it. It's interesting. But I'm A&M all the way, guys. Tacos Miami. Mark, don't care. I'm with you guys on that as well. A&M. Drinks got Miami. Miami's, we can hear them for the next 23 years. Gotcha. Yeah, I know. Texas A&M. SEC would be cool. Yeah, that's another part of this as well. Either one, totally. Yes, I like it. The SEC part of it is intriguing as well. Texas A&M. Oh, I know they're going to show up. Trust me, Texas fans showed up last year, but it didn't work for them. They lost. Interesting question. Sean, what do the Buckeyes focus on not knowing their opponent? Yeah, man, it's kind of like these Buckeyes go back to spring ball at this point because during the season, they know who their opponents are. They spend the week game planning, preparing the schemes, inserting new plays, whatever it might be. Now you don't really know what to do, so there's really not a lot of point in going and breaking down film. I'm sure the players are watching a little bit of film on both teams. But until you know, these guys are going back to kind of spring ball, man, fundamentals. I mean, Matt Patricia is huge on fundamentals. I've went and watched a lot of his seminars, listened to his seminars he used to go teach. And I'm telling you, in a 6-hour seminar, the dude spends 5 hours talking about fundamentals. That's what he talks about. Fundamentals is where you start in this game. And he says so many people get away from the fundamental part of the game because they get so obsessed with schematics and how can you be smarter than the other team and all those things. But fundamentals. That's what they're going to work on. You can always get better fundamentally. You can always get better doing that. I love that question. Heck of a question, by the way. I think I saw another question in there. Yeah, B, what up, dude? Definitely like the video. You guys do great at that already. All right, here we go. You guys want to hear about some transfer portal stuff, or do you want to hear about Legend Bay stuff first? I'm going to let you guys pick. Transfer portal or Legend Bay? Which one we going to? I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to take the time to rest my voice because I'm a little bit under the weather right now, man. Just a little bit. Legend. All right, Steely. Steely's won the vote. Legend Bay, right? You guys know the drama. You know the drama. He was signed with Tennessee. Carlos Laughlin got him to flip to the Buckeyes. Signing day comes around. He shows up to his high school. Table decked out in Buckeye gear. I've spoken with somebody very, very, very close to the situation. So I got some. If you guys knew, you'd be like, "Oh wow, now Devin's really pretty close to the situation." But dude was all Buckeyes, like all Buckeyes. I mean, even the coaching staff. Ohio State received his letter of intent, but it didn't have his e-sign. It didn't have the parent signature on it, so they voided it. Okay, and all of a sudden, randomly, out of nowhere, he says, "Hey, I'm going to delay my decision till December 5th. And then again, literally out of nowhere, he commits to Tennessee. So he goes from, all Buckeyes. I showed you guys the picture on his Twitter, decked out and all that. And then randomly, even the coaching staff inside the Woody was not concerned at all. They were like, nope, not worried here. Dude's going to be a Buckeye. But then commits to Tennessee. Dumbfounded. I was like, bro, what's going on? I had the inside track on it, talking to somebody real close to the situation. I was, bro, what the heck is going on here? Not going to share the full conversation, but you guys kind of know what happened. After that, rumors started circulating that this signature was forged. You saw the things on the social media. He got on and posted, somebody on a social media account posted, hey, I don't want you guys to be too hard on my mom. I chose Tennessee because I want to be, right, in peace with my mom. That's the first thing he posted. Then he gets on and posts a picture, an AI-generated picture of Coach Day and Coach Locke walking with him, facing the other way, and it says, I got your back. Then he gets on X and posts, hey, my brother and mom have control of my social media. This will probably get deleted, but, essentially that's what's going on. And then all these rumors come out. Hey, the mom traveled to Tennessee by herself the week prior. The mom showed up late to the ceremony, raising Cain, raising all kind of hell. The brother and the mom are the ones that ended up pushing him to sign with Tennessee. We're trying to find out if that's his actual signature on the Tennessee letter of intent. And Legend Bay is still posting. Just the other day on his Instagram, posted a picture of him in a Buckeye uniform and said, I'm doing my own thing or something along those lines. And, shortly after that, I was told Legend Bay is going to be a Buckeye. Like 24 hours after he signed with Tennessee, I got told that from somebody that knows. I'll just leave it at that. So where we are now, I've heard some other people reporting on this, reporting that Tennessee is going to release him from his letter of intent finally. If you're Tennessee, it's just like, bro, what have you been doing in the first place? What's the holdup here? If all those details are true, if you're Tennessee, why would you not release him immediately? Can somebody answer that question for me? If all those details are true, why would Tennessee want somebody there so bad that doesn't want to be there? That was always so dumbfounding to me. But yep, I'm being told Tennessee has finally decided to release him from his letter of intent, right, which will make him available to come sign for the Buckeyes. Texas and Texas A&M are all of a sudden in the race real hard, but I'm being told Legend Bay going to be a Buckeye, and Tennessee has decided. I don't think it's been reported yet that Tennessee has made the decision to release him. Maybe it has now. Maybe somebody, has reported it now. But that's what I'm being told. I was told that 2 days ago. So we'll see, right, what ends up happening. We already know how volatile the situation is. And some Buckeye fans might wonder, hey, do we want Brass Taxar knew all this stuff? Yeah, dude. A lot of this stuff has been reported already. No doubt. What up, Brass Tax? But yeah, so a lot of Buckeye fans wondering. I've heard this conversation get brought up. I don't know that I want somebody like that coming into this program, drama like that with the family and all that. But it's just kind of different, guys. Here, I'm not there. I think I want Legend Bay badly. I want him badly. The dude is different than any other player we have on the roster. His speed is off the chains. He's a baller. Right now, is he going to be a slot receiver? Is he going to be a running back? Is he going to be a return specialist? Is he going to be a quarterback? I don't know. But you get somebody like that into your program. That's right, the natural, an absolute freak athlete, and you let it play out how it plays out because the only person we have on the roster similar to him is Turbo Rogers. Similar, but he's faster than Turbo Rogers is, or at least was. Maybe Turbo's faster. But yeah, Legend Bay wants to be a Buckeye. I want him to be a Buckeye. I trust this coaching staff. If they're going to still want this kid to come into the program, regardless of all this, and if his family situation really is the way it sounds like it is, Ohio State's the perfect place for him. And this is where we're blessed as a fan base, because we know how Ryan Day and the rest of the coaching staff, we know their number one goal, unlike our rivals and unlike our, neighbors to the north. I'm going to ask the chat. Chat, what is Ryan Day's number one goal for being the Ohio State head coach? I want to see what you guys answer. What is his number one goal? Curious if you guys listen to his press conferences and stuff. You hear a lot of other coaches say it too, but I think we know at this point in time, there it is, Stephanie. That's right. Influence men, culture, family brotherhood, build men. That's right. Developing the whole man. Yeah. His number one thing is to make them great young men, help these guys become young men, to raise so they're able to raise a good family, so they're able to succeed in this world. That is his number one mission. And when he interviews coaches, trust me, I know this, when he interviews coaches, they are well aware that, hey, you're coming into this program, that's the number one goal, okay? I think Jim Knowles didn't get along so well, but Jim Knowles was a great defensive coordinator. I shouldn't have said that. That was Jim Knowles didn't build relationships like Matt Patricia does, and that now makes Jim Knowles look a little bit worse than he actually was. But Legend Bay going to be a Buckeye. I'm excited for him as a football player. I'm excited for him as a young man. It's going to be exciting to see what he does in this program. And it's going to be exciting for the day that he actually signs here and actually becomes a Buckeye. Hopefully no more drama. Nothing else comes out of this. So it'll be good news. 26 class is not over yet. Going to be adding Legend Bay, which will take us up to the number 5 class in the nation, passing Georgia just by a little bit. On to the transfer portal news, right? Obviously, I've told you guys 100 times about the dilemma that Ohio State is in. I will explain it one more time for you guys. The portal opens up January 2nd. It closes January 16th. Right in the middle of the playoffs. The Natty game, I believe, is on the 19th. Is that right, guys? January 19th? So, during the portal time, if you're still in the playoffs, you're going to be preparing for that game, trying to keep your players from entering the portal, trying to keep other teams from absolutely coming in and rating your roster, right? And also searching the portal for players that you might need, okay? Not only that, if you make it to the national title game, once the game is over, the rest of the nation has 5 days to pick whoever they want from your roster and come in and tamper, except you don't have the luxury of going and replacing any of those players that leave during that 5-day time because the portal is closed. Right now is a crucial time for the Buckeyes as they are having those conversations with the players on this roster right now. They're having the financial conversations. They're sitting down and being honest with these players in hopes that these players will be honest to them so they can get a proper, right, picture of what they need to do in the portal. Now, the last spring portal, the Buckeyes had 0 players enter the portal. Will there be Buckeyes enter this portal? Yes, there will be. Some of them will be mutual. Some of them will be the Buckeyes saying, hey, yes, if you get another opportunity, it's probably best for you to go there. But we'll see. So the Buckeyes are in the middle of trying to figure all that out. But as us fans, we can sit back, kind of look ahead a little bit and ask ourselves, hey, what are some areas that we need to be looking at. And that's going to ask you guys, chat. Give me your top 3 in order positions. Don't just say D-line. It's either defensive end, right? Defensive line, linebacker, interior offensive lineman, offensive tackle. Where are you guys at with this? And I think there's some questions here, right? Because we don't know who's going to declare, who's not. Is Jermaine Matthews going to declare? Is Kenyatta Jackson going to declare? What's going to happen here? Sean, right guard number 1. Steely, punter number 1. Mine's field goal kicker. I want a field goal kicker that can make 27-yard field goals. That's my only one. But I'll tell you, I believe it's going to be defensive end for these Buckeyes. Also, if you look at the linebacker position, we're going to lose both our starting linebackers. Peyton Pierce is in there. And yes, very good young talent with Riley Pettijohn, TJ Alfred, Eli Lee, some other names in there as well. But not a player with a lot of experience in that room. They had Sonny Styles this year. So I'm almost convinced they might go in for a linebacker in this class and get one. Running back's one to look at as well. Got a lot of running backs on the team. You saw what they did. They went in and got the West Virginia running back to find that running back that has a lot of, playing time, a lot of experience, a lot of leadership, and all those things. So I think defensive end is in there. And a while back, there's a certain freshman defensive end out of the state of Ohio that didn't sign with us. Now, towards the end of the recruiting class, the Buckeyes offered him. They got in on him a little bit, but a little bit too late. Penn State ended up signing him. That's Chaz Coleman, right? And Chaz Coleman, to me, when I watched the Penn State game when we played him, he was one of the only players on Penn State that really stuck out to me, man, as a freshman coming in there doing what he was doing, okay? And we know where Penn State is as a team. Now, they did just go out, hire Matt Campbell, the Iowa State coach, really good hire if you ask me. But you got to ask yourself, right, what players are going to leave? What players, right, are going to stay in that program? Now, I will tell you, right after that game, okay, there was a certain Ohio State person, right? There was a video taken of this Ohio State person having a conversation with Chaz Coleman. Chaz Coleman walking around, one of the last players off the field, looking around everywhere, right? And the intel coming out of that was, hey, man, there's serious interest there, right? Shout out Funky. Funky Buck has had this for a minute, but didn't just report on it yet, but it's all coming out now. But, we were told during that time, right, if Chaz Coleman enters the portal, he's going to be a Buckeye, right? And we've since got an update on that, and we still feel strongly about that him and his family, if they end up making that decision, that is somewhere they want to go. If the numbers make sense to them, I do not believe Chaz Coleman is strictly a numbers guy here, the family and all that. I don't think that's the case here. I don't think the Buckeyes need to come in and be the number one offer, the most expensive offer and all that stuff. I don't think that needs to happen, but we're just going to have to wait and see if he enters the portal, right? I was waiting on that coaching hire to kind of see. But with that good of a hire, there's a chance that he sticks around. There, the Buckeyes can't reach out to him right now, but being from the state of Ohio, several of his coaches, several of his trainers, I'm sure, have connections to the Ohio State coaching staff, which can have conversations with them. They can relay the messages. So that's kind of how that goes there. But we'll see, man. I do know that there has been some talk there. There has been mutual interest on both sides. We're just going to have to wait and see kind of what happens. Is the dude going to enter the portal or is he not? But it's going to get wild, guys. This transfer portal, it gets more wild and more wild every single year. And the Buckeyes seem to do pretty well in the transfer portal. Obviously, when they got the Caleb Downs, that one, they struck gold, Quinshad Junkins and all that. The last one, they picked up Ethan Anianwa. Wasn't really what we thought he would be. But also, Philip Daniels was not what he thought he would be in the opposite sense. So kind of made up for it there. We got Bo Atkinson in the portal. Definitely not playing up to the standards there, but kind of an update on Bo Atkinson. I will tell you, the coaching staff feels very good about him. The main thing with him is his strength. Okay, when you're at North Carolina, it's a little bit different strength and conditioning program than when you're here. And he came in late to the program, guys. He didn't have a lot of time to be in there with Mick, in the weight room and all those things. So he'll be coming back. Got a lot of, there's still something there. And listen, if you've been a Buckeye fan long enough, if you know the Tywone Malone story, that's just one example of how, hey, man, what Mick can do with these guys in an entire offseason is sometimes magical, because Tywone Malone last year wasn't being talked about at all for an NFL draft pick. And right now, I've seen some people project him possibly, and obviously these playoffs are going to be a huge part in that, in the 4th or 5th round, which is huge for him. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, this portal is going to be wild. This coaching staff, they're going to be trying to prepare for these games, trying to figure out what's going on with their own players, while also going out and trying to scout all these other teams. Luckily, Ryan Day, Mark Pantoni, they're beasts at this, man. They've known this was the case for a while. They have an entire staff dedicated, right, simply to this. So it's like the staff can go grab Ryan Day only when he's needed. They can go grab James Laurinaitis when he's needed. Okay, so, all right, the Buckeyes are going to be fine, but it's still annoying and it still sucks, but we'll see. I think the Buckeyes, they're going to make – I know the Buckeyes are going to make some big-time splashes in the transfer portal. They're trying to make this thing unfair. We're all excited about this year. Last year's team won the national title. Coming into this year, I don't know that a lot of expectations were national title. It wasn't a natty or bust type of season, and it seemed to have turned into that, right? Just feels like you're kind of playing with house money a little bit this year. Can we win a national title? Absolutely. Do I think we're going to? I do. I think we're going back to back again. But it's kind of wild to think about this team next year, okay? All the offensive line can possibly come back. Carson Hinsman is kind of, there's been some talk there about what decision is he going to make, but I think the entire offensive line comes back. Excuse me, sorry about that. Julian Sayin, J.J. Smith, all the young talent that we have, Chris Henry Jr. coming in. And don't let Chris Henry Jr. overshadow Quincy Porter as well. Quincy Porter, you guys might call me crazy or whatnot, but I think he's on the Chris Henry Jr. level. But I know. Let's hear it. Put it in the chat. Everybody called Devin crazy. Everybody call him an idiot. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Matt, this is our down year. Right. But my point in saying all that is it's been this entire time, all the boosters, all the higher ups that support this program, like they've had this plan. They see the same things we see, that, hey, next year, right? Yeah, this year we can go win a national title. But some might argue we got a better chance to win next year. The schedule's harder. But Julian Sayin having a whole year under his belt, J.J. Smith his final year, offensive line, same offensive line coming back. And it's known that, right, when you look at a lot of national champs, it's this offensive linemen that have been around playing with each other for a long time. So it's going to be interesting. These boosters, they're prepared. The nil side of things is prepared for this portal. They're prepared to go out and get some impact players in positions of need. They're prepared to pay the star players on this roster to keep them. They are prepared, is what I am being told. So that's that, guys. A lot of good news, right, coming out. We'll continue to talk about what's going on here. Yeah, dude, shout out Gio, Quentin Cipher, Gio. Like, I forget how long it was now, Gio, but he sent me an email. I want to say it's been like 2 or 3 months ago, like a long time ago. And he shared the story with me and Gio. I'm not going to give it all away, but essentially he said, hey, dude, Quentin Cipher is going to be a Buckeye. Buckeye's got 2 crystal balls for him now. I've been trying to get him on the show. I can't reach him, can't get in contact with him. Gio, if you can, I would love to get Quentin on the show. Linebacker out of North Carolina. Georgia's after him really hardcore. It's going to come down to that. He's recently called Ohio State his number 1 team. Georgia his number 2 team. James Laurinaitis doing a phenomenal job. I'm being told that's why Quentin wants to come here is James Laurinaitis. James Laurinaitis is really reeling this one in. Yeah, shout out Gio, man. That's why I love this show, bro. That's why I love the chat, because it's like, you never know. You know how many emails I get all the time because it's such a small world. Like, this person that watches the show knows this person that knows some information about this. And it's like, you get that information, then I relay it from the people I know, and they're like, yeah, that's accurate information. So I'm telling you, man, Buckeye boys, it's a big team here. Everybody in the chat, us as well, just a couple fans. I'm not some expert sitting up here. I'm a fan that has happened to build some relationships with some people over time that share some information with me from time to time. Sometimes that information's right. Sometimes that information's wrong. All I know is I have a blast doing what I'm doing. I love it. I love coming on here, chatting it up with these other Buckeyes, you guys in the chat all the time. It's the highlight of my day. I love it. And you guys are killing it, man. For those of you guys that watch on Scoop, my Buckeye Boys channel, I know it's a weird situation. It's just like, hey, why is this dude streaming on 2 different channels? Well, I'm kind of newer, right? I'm a new face to Buckeye media, YouTuber, whatever you want to call it. So that Buckeye Boys channel, me and Mello started that. It's kind of the baby in a way, build the brand a little bit more, help build, some credibility and whatnot. And you guys have been killing it with going over there, hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button over there as well. So I do know that off of that channel, right, obviously you make money off of YouTube channels and super chats and all that stuff. All the revenue from the Buckeye Boys channel gets poured right back in to the Buckeye Boys channel. I think anybody that has watched this show for long enough can attest to that. Ask one of these regulars in the chats that's been watching me for a year or so. I do trivia giveaways on here. I gave away a ticket. One of the Buckeye Boys listeners came to the Washington game with me. It'll happen again next year. I save up the money that's generated from the Buckeye Boys YouTube show, put it in a little jar, a little cookie jar. When that builds up, I go purchase a ticket, man. And next year, I want to give away 2 regular season tickets to the same game and also 2 playoff tickets, man. That's what I want to do. And I need your guys' help doing that. That comes from views, subscribers, comments, likes over there on the Buckeye Boys channel. I know you guys got 900 different people you can choose from watching Ohio State media, but I appreciate those of you guys that watch me, watch my shows, watch the Scoop shows as well. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on Scoop, on Apple, hit the subscribe and like button as well. And if you're listening on Scoop, soaring up the charts with the subscribers, man. We're going for 38,000. We need like 100 more. We're really going for 40. 40 is our new goal, but it's only like 100 more for 38,000 subscribers on the Buckeye Scoop channel, which I believe would put the Buckeye Scoop channel at like the all-time highest Ohio State YouTube subscriber show ever. You guys can be a part of that. I think that's pretty cool, man. So I would do it. If you guys haven't hit the subscribe button on the Scoop channel yet, please do that. But let me scroll through this chat, see if you guys got anything interesting here, man. I got like 5 minutes left. Pretty much ending the show, but I'm just going to read through these chats. sometimes I try to, okay, I can answer that question for you. Come here, Tank. They want to see you. Yeah, they do. They want to see the Tank. Tank sits underneath her daddy's feet the whole show, patiently waiting for me to finish so she can go potty outside and go crazy. You guys see her she's got a little white patch under here. Say hi, Tank. I wanted to see you. Is Mello in there? Steely said, Mello said, what's up? What up, Roll Tide? And you've been killing it on the Scoop shows. Been a huge supporter, man. I appreciate you. If you're a man or woman, I'm assuming, I don't know why, but I'm assuming you're a man. It's irrelevant. Stand-up person. We'll do that. All right, y'all. Appreciate you guys for watching. We'll have another show tomorrow. Another thing, I want to tell you guys, Sports Talk Jay, you guys know, man, I'm going to start partnering with him on a weekly show over here on the Scoop Buckeye Boys channel. It's going to be a great time, man. I'm going to dive into a little more of there he is. Where's Tank? Oh, there she is. Thanks for the $1.99, Johnny. Yeah, here she is. Dang, Elijah, I didn't know that. Early enrollment kids can't travel with the team this year. Dev, I'm a man. Appreciate you, brother. I didn't know that. They could last year. Are you sure that's true, Elijah? Are you sure? But anyway, I'll look into that. Maybe they changed it. Yeah, maybe they changed it. But yeah, go check out Sports Talk Jay if you guys haven't. He's going to be on here. Ken Taco? That's a good question. I did have somebody filling in for Mello, and I hope he is okay because he literally vanished. I was texting him. You know, he was coming on the shows, doing really well, really good dude. And then I pray he's okay. I didn't know him too well, but if you guys see him in chat somewhere or something, let me know the dude's okay. But yeah, he gone. But we riding solo right now. All is well here on the Buckeyes. It's never solo with you guys in the chat. But hey, appreciate you guys. Support the show, watching every night. We'll have something planned for tomorrow. Maybe have a guest on. Maybe get Duke or Daniel on here or something. We'll see, man. I always try to come up with something for you guys. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Love you guys. Go Buckeyes, man. We back to back, baby. Back to back. See what I do, man. Ian. That's right. Ian. Go Buckeyes. OH. You good, Johnny. Thanks for the $2, bro.